Hello everyone, my name is Pulkit Gera and I'll be presenting our work Neural View Synthesis with Appearance Editing from Unstructured Images. This work was done along with my advisor Professor PJ Narayanan and my fellow co-authors Akash Keti and Dhaval Sirikonda. So what is the goal of our project? Given a set of unstructured images of an object which can be captured using off-the-shelf smartphone cameras, we want to perform novel view synthesis, that is, view the object from new angles and poses. Note, we also take the environment map as input, which can easily be captured using Google Street View. Our method also optimizes for the diffuse texture of the object. Once the diffuse texture is recovered, we can then edit the diffuse texture to edit the appearance of the object. You can see how the coloring of the scene is consistent with the geometry of the pot as well as consistent with the lighting. We can also color the leaves and you can see how the coloring of the pink leaves is consistent to the leaf and not spilling over. This is also consistent with the lighting of the scene. So how do we achieve this? To understand that, let us have a look at the formulation. So the first question is, how are scenes rendered? For a 2D point X, the incoming radiance L is defined as the product of the material at the corresponding 3D point or the bidirectional reflectance distribution function or the BRDF at that particular point, the incoming illumination along the light ray, the visibility function with respect to the light ray, and the cosine foreshortening factor of the ray, basically telling us the contribution of that ray at that particular point. We integrate the contribution of all such rays over the hemisphere surrounding the point. We can rewrite the equation in terms of the material and the local irradiance function, where the local irradiance function basically encapsulates the lighting contribution of that particular point. Now, if you want to edit the material of the scene, we need to find a formulation in which the material and the lighting contributions at that particular point are disentangled. If we have such a formulation, then we can easily edit the material texture and then render the scene. So how do we come up with such a formulation? So for a moment, let's forget everything and go back to Signals 101. There, we studied about the convolution theorem, which states that the Fourier transform of a convolution is the product of the Fourier transforms. That is, T of integral of f into g is equivalent to T of f into T of g, where T is the Fourier transform. Now, since we are dealing with spherical functions, we cannot use Fourier transforms because they are not defined on the surface of a sphere. Therefore, we need to use spherical basis of projection, one of which is spherical harmonics. So, we rewrite the equation in terms of spherical harmonics, where it becomes the product of SH projected BRDF and SH projected local irradiance function. This way, we are able to disentangle the material and the local irradiance function. So now let us have a look at some of the previous works which help us set up our project. We look at deferred neural rendering, which aims to perform novel view synthesis from unstructured images. This is also one of my favorite works. The idea behind this work is to make the entire graphics pipeline learnable. Therefore, the textures as well as the renderer is now a learnable component. So we have a 16-channel learnable neural texture volume, which in some way encodes the scene. The input to the network also has UV maps, which is used to sample the 2D textures from the neural textures for a particular pose. Once we have the sample texture, we give that as the input to the neural renderer, which renders the RGB image. Then we can simply take a L1 photometric loss with a ground truth image and the gradients then flow back. So now is a good time to move on to our pipeline. So let us first understand the input to the network. So we capture the images using an off-the-shelf smartphone, and we also capture the environment map using the same smartphone. Now we retrieve the poses and the geometry using CoreMap, which is a structure from Ocean package. We then unwrap the scene using Smart UV Unwrap in Blender. This will give us the UV mappings for the retrieved geometry. We then generate masks from the ground truth images using off-the-shelf segmentation algorithms. In this case, we use U2Net for generating ground truth masks. Finally, we train the network with the ground truth images, masks, and the UV mappings. Now we come to our pipeline. The first part of the pipeline is very similar to the deferred neural rendering pipeline. Only this time, instead of predicting three-channel RGB images, we are predicting the SS projected LIF. We employ the same concept of neural textures and the neural renderer. Here, the neural renderer is predicting the SS projected LIF, and the neural texture is encoding the scene. You can see that the UK, which is the UV maps, is being used to grid sample the sample texture. The UK over here is also used to grid sample the albedo to give us view dependent albedo. This is then projected into SS space to give us SS projected BRDF. The gradients from here flow into both the upper and the lower pipeline. We finally take the dot product between the SS projected LIF and SS projected BRDF, and which gives us the final rendering. We then take the loss between the rendered images and the ground truth images. This loss is a combination of the perceptual loss and an L1 loss. A naive loss on the output RGB and ground truth alone results in a poor albedo texture. To better estimate the albedo, which disentangles lighting from the base color, we numerically integrate the environment map with diffuse BRDF as seen over here. And then we take a loss, L1 loss with the ground truth image. This way, we ensure that the albedo texture is not leaking into the LIF and vice versa. Now, let's move on to the results. We first compare the results of view synthesis on synthetic scenes with other previous works. In this scene, we have a textured Buddha, which is a fairly complex geometry scene. We observe that our results are at par with the deferred neural rendering work and better than state-of-the-art work PhiSG, which was recently published. PhiSG is able to reconstruct geometry for fairly simple scenes, but fails for complex geometric scenes such as this one. Our results are also at par with ground truth, and there are no visual artifacts. We further compare with real scenes captured. In this scene, the plant scene was captured with around 100 images, and we observe that it even performs better than DNR, with the leaves being fairly complex. And our results are at par with the ground truth. We compare this on a flat cushion surface with a fairly simple light and geometry, as well as on this fish scene. You can see that the results are slightly blurry with deferred neural rendering, but ours are giving high visual quality. Moving on to material editing. Here we have colored the geometry with blue color and green color, and as you can see the coloring is consistent with the geometry, and when we rotate the fish we can see that the coloring is still there. This is not easy with normal coloring, and this coloring is also consistent with the background lighting. This is also shown over here where you can see that it is flowing from low to above, and when we rotate the pose we can see that it's still consistent. Same with this woman where you can clearly see the fine grained structures in the hair as well as at the back. Over here we also do one more addition where we apply a wooden texture on top of the cushion, and as you can see that it is performing as expected, as physically realistic as possible. We now discuss a couple of application studies. In the first study, we study the effect of geometry quality on the results of our method. To do this, we obtain two decimated versions of the retrieved geometry. We then train multiple networks on these decimation levels. We observe that the quality of results slightly decreases, but the network is able to cover for imperfect geometry and performs well. As you can see that there are more artifacts in the decimated twice section as opposed to the initial geometry recovered version, but the results on a macro level are fairly decent. We compare this on the fish dataset as well, where as you can see here, the results are more blurry as opposed to the initial version, but the results quality are pretty decent. We now move on to material ablation studies. Here we want to compare the results of the independent optimization of diffuse texture versus our method of jointly optimizing of diffuse texture and local irradiance field. In the first experiment, we independently optimized for diffuse texture using Mitsuba software, which uses differentiable rendering techniques. As we then freeze the BRDF estimation method and only estimate local irradiance field. We compare this to our method where we jointly optimize for both LIF as well as diffuse texture. We observe that there are severe visual artifacts in the Mitsuba experiment, which is the independent optimization of diffuse texture, as opposed to ours. We also see these visual artifacts in another dataset, the woman statue dataset, where you can see under the arm and near the ear there are purple artifacts which are not present in our and the ground truth. We now move on to future directions of our work. So we have discovered the spherical harmonic basis and used that to represent diffuse textures. However, we that is not a very rich representation, and other representations like spherical Gaussians and wavelets may enable us to work with glossy and shiny objects. We also would like to improve the material disentanglement capabilities by designing and using stronger priors like they have used in other concurrent work like deferred neural lighting, which uses radiance cues to better disentangle lighting. We also want to incorporate relighting into our method so that we can simultaneously edit the material and the lighting of the scene. Thank you, and we are open for questions now.